Welcome to Rope Dropping Knowledge, where we guide you through the magic of Disney.
We're actually doing it?
Doing what?
A podcast?
Recording?
Yeah.
You were scared too.
It's been a while. Yeah, I guess we could just say catching up. That's the title of this episode. Episode 222 of the Rope Dropping Knowledge podcast. Brian and Tracy, we're back. Sorry, we've missed a week or two. But we've been doing a lot of stuff. Going to the parks 2 weeks in a row.
2 trips behind
Yeah.
on updating you.
I know. But the cool thing is about our podcast is our analytics say that probably 50% of you don't listen to us when we come out anyway.
Yeah.
So anytime we release a podcast, it's not like, even though we classify ourselves as kind of a Disney news podcast, most of you kind of just listen to us when you're on road trips or when
That's
you're
when
taking
we-
kids to school or and the commuting and stuff like that. It's not like the day of. So we still appreciate you. A listen is a listen, and but what that means for us is that I don't feel pressured to like just pump out a bunch of stuff all the time, which is probably a bad thing. We need to do more, even though we said we were going to do less. But there is a happy medium, and we hope we'll meet that in 2024. But let's start these off with another giveaway. We did have a giveaway winner, Mr. Gomez. He got the Minnie Mouse crossbody. And we have a new giveaway starting today. And tell us about it.
It is a art piece, picture
Photograph.
of from Q's Trips. His Instagram is QS_trips, but the business is, his shop is called Q'sPics.com. So he's a fellow content creator, and he goes to the park, and he takes really good pictures. I think this is from one of his professional cameras or iPhone, I'm not sure. But then he sells these pictures on his small shop. So we bought a few for ourselves, and then we bought one to give away.
Yep.
And this is a picture of San Francisco at night. It's called San Francisco Sunset. If you go to his shop, that's the name of the pig. And then this one, we chose to print it on a metal frame.
Well, we didn't choose.
Huh?
He chose to put it on a metal frame.
No, but all his pictures you can choose.
I know. Yeah, we chose that
We
as
chose
the
this
giveaway
option.
for the giveaway. Yeah, so I mean, it's called a metal frame. It's basically on metal.
Yeah, it's
So
printed on metal.
So I don't want people to think it's inside of a frame. It's
It's just stuck in the metal.
Yeah. Well, it's
Like
on-
canvas.
Yeah, the metal is the canvas.
Yeah.
And so you don't need a frame.
Right.
And it's kind of cool because it's floating metal, because it has the back. It'll look like it's floating off the wall, like it's suspended in midair. It comes with its own mounting kit. So it's going to be, not only is it beautiful, it's durable because it's metal. Yes, you could use it as a weapon.
Oh, durable. I thought you said it was adorable. I'm like, yes, it has Mickey in it. Of course
Yeah,
it's adorable.
It's both. Durable and adorable. That's a good name for like a small business. Another small
Adorable
Disney
durables.
Yeah. Adorable durables. Little metal Mickeys and stuff. So, but yeah, this particular giveaway ends on 3/30. That's a Saturday. So it's the end of this month. And all you have to do to enter this particular contest is answer this question via Facebook direct message, Instagram direct message, or email us at info@ropedroppingknowledge.com. For every medium you use, you get an additional entry. And the question is, if you could be a Disney character in the parks for one day, or what they would say, if you could be friends with a character in the parks for one day, who would it be? So if you could play Tiana.
If you want to play a character, you mean?
Yeah. That's what being friends with the character means. So when a former cast member says I was friends with
Oh,
Snow
that's
White,
I didn't know that.
yeah, that means I was I
They
played
were
Snow
that
White in the
character.
park. Yeah,
Oh,
because that keeps the magic.
eh,
Yeah.
I didn't know
Mhm.
that. I
Yeah.
didn't know what you meant. I'm like,
Yeah.
so you want to be their friend?
No,
Like,
that's
okay.
the actual term. So if you want to be Snow White, you want to be Tiana, you want to be Stitch, you want to be Mrs. Incredible, you want to be whoever it would be, but you have to be that character for one day in the parks.
In the parks, though. Yeah.
Yeah, who would it be? You could, if you want to add to it, you could even add why, because I know people have some good reasons as to why they would pick that particular character. Because some people would say like, well, maybe I want to be like Gaston, because then, I just walk around and it's not in a hot costume and da 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 da. But then, you're more likely to get groped like he did at the parks and had to
Oh,
kick
yeah,
that
he
one
got
person
groped.
out. Yeah.
By the Wonder
So I don't know. People have their different reasons. Maybe they just pick their favorite character. And you know what? You could even pick a character that doesn't exist in the parks yet. So, some people want to be Thanos, and that'd be a cool character. So we'd accept it. But yeah, just give us your answers by 11:59 p.m. March 30th, and we'll be doing the drawing at random the next day. Must be 18 years or older and live in the United States. Okay. Also, we'll be back at the parks tomorrow. We're recording this on Friday. And tomorrow is the 9th?
Mm-hmm.
And so we still have an in-park giveaway. We always have an in-park giveaway, but we have one that has not been claimed yet, which is a metal pin. It's called Disney Metal. That's the name of the series. And if you come up to us, if you're the first person to come up to us, say, give me that pin, you get it. You win it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that's all for giveaways for today. Alrighty. We haven't talked to you guys in a while.
Yeah, I don't even know where to start because
Well, let's start at
it
the
was
beginning.
like ever since Super Bowl.
Let's start at the
Sunday.
beginning. First I was an egg, and then
It all started in
no.
sixth
Let's
grade.
start at the middle. That's a horrible place to start a story. Let's start at Taylor Swift. We haven't talked to you guys since before the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so we were going to update you on our Disney Day on Lunar New Year Day.
Mm-hmm.
On February 10th. That was actual Lunar New Year. And we were at the parks and we saw a lot of people wearing red, but not because it's Lunar New Year. Well, it is because it's Lunar New Year. Plus, it was the Super Bowl the day after, and everybody was wearing their Chiefs or Niners jerseys. That's red as well.
So the whole park was red on both sides, Disneyland
Yes.
and California Adventure.
Yeah.
And it was pretty funny. So everyone is going to get good luck that they don't deserve. It's like
I think if you inadvertently wear red, you don't get the look.
I don't
Just
know.
kidding.
I don't know. I've never read that, but read it. See, get it? No, I never read that. So everybody was turning red.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a pretty cool time. I like the Lunar New Year Festival. Every year it seems to get more crowded
Yeah.
for that particular festival.
Well, it's because it's not as many booths as the other food festivals, so
Mhm.
it makes it compacted to the few that are there. So that's why it's. Just
But I do
crazy.
see I don't want to make a generalization, but I do think a lot of people of Asian descent do go there and use it as a part of their celebration.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
We saw a whole
don't-
family
Yeah.
taking pictures with their whole, traditional outfits.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of kids with the aoyai. That's what we call our traditional
Mhm.
dress. And then we saw a Korean whole family
Whole
taking
family.
a photo pass, Korean family.
Mm-hmm. I think that's cool.
Mhm.
That's an expensive way to celebrate New Year, but everyone go. But me and you used to go to New Year's.
Yeah.
So, And I think it's kind of like knocking two birds out with one stone. It's like, hey, the kids want to go to Disney. We want to celebrate, the festival. So, boom, boom, two things.
Two things at one time. Well, something we did that we haven't done in a while was parked. I mean, we did it last time, but the time we went was the first time in a while that we parked in the parking structure.
Oh, parking structure. I thought you meant the
And-
Korean family.
Huh?
Never mind.
I
I love joking with Tracy. It takes her a few minutes.
don't get it. I was like, huh?
Park,
But
Korean
anywho,
name.
I know, but it's not a verb. We parked at Pixar. Well, I made the wrong choice because back in the old days, pre-pandemic, parking on the Pixar side was a breeze because everybody uses the Mickey and Friends entrance.
Mhm.
Now,
Everyone's heard about it.
everyone's heard about it and going on that side, but it only has 2 booths available. So it makes it really trafficky. I don't know how to say it. But yes,
It's congested.
it's congested. So it took us maybe 45 minutes to park.
Probably.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then what time was it that we got there?
I don't
12?
remember. Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, you're on your own to
Mhm.
find your space on
yeah,
the roof.
all the cast members are out.
They're
Mm.
gone. It's like you're just
We
like,
need you in
and
other
then you're
areas.
on the roof, so there's none of those lights that say that
You
tell
can't see
you
them
if it's
from afar.
green. No,
Yeah.
but they don't. There's no lights.
There's no lights. I mean, the sensors are still on the ground, but you can't. They don't have the lights
they
that you
are?
can see.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't do anything.
Well, it
So,
does
yeah.
something for them because they
just-
know when to close it off.
Oh, so
So
you're just circling around, finding parking.
it's like a mall.
So I just suggest going to Toy Story if you come after 11 or so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it wasn't. I mean, it's a hassle for people who are used to not having a hassle.
Right,
But
right,
it's not. It's not like going to South Coast Plaza during Christmas parking. It's,
Oh, yeah.
It's easy. You still find a place. It just takes you longer than the 5 minutes it usually takes you.
Yeah. So that was interesting.
So
And then another thing we did the first time was rode the Little Mermaid for the first time on Lightning Lane.
I know. That's kind of weird. Yeah. And I don't mind it, but I guess it helps. They needed something for people to spend them on because people had all these lightning lanes, and they were probably just congesting all the lightning lane rides, making the lightning lane almost as long as a standby.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it gets crazy.
Weird.
There really is no Chinese New Year, like the term. That's like an
Yes.
American thing.
It's Spring Festival.
It's Spring Festival. Yeah.
Well, it's called Lunar New. You know how there's this whole political thing that they made it. Where,
But that's just different, like what you call it, right?
Yeah,
And
because it's more than just.
but the
Chinese
thing is,
people.
I'll just say it. I'll get canceled. All the Asians in the United States have it wrong. The people call it Lunar New Year. It's not really Lunar New Year. It's Lunar Solar New Year because it's about
The
the
new
moon and the
moon.
sun,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, because in Korean it's
So-
called something solar. But
Yeah, in Korea.
yeah.
And so it's not. So Lunar New Year is not technically correct. I'm being the mansplaining American. Amerisplain. Chinese New Year never made sense because we wouldn't call our New Year American New Year, and then in China they actually call it Spring Festival.
Yes.
So all the
In
terms,
Vietnamese, it's just that. But we do
Yeah.
say Happy New Year to each other.
right? So it's an Asian American thing, and Asian Americans got it all wrong. I'm
Well, no,
joking.
because we just never cared. When I was a kid, I always called it Chinese New Year
Yeah.
until I grew up and everyone's like, oh, let's be PC and call it Lunar New Year because it's not just Chinese and you're Vietnamese. You're not Chinese. I'm like, fine, Lunar New Year. Like, I don't care if I'm Vietnamese and I call it Chinese New Year.
I'm gonna call it Spring Festival, just so I'm hoping someone tries to correct me. I'm gonna be that Karen. Black Karen, new superhero.
You're like, no, it's not called Chinese New Year or Lunar New Year. It's Spring Festival. But that's only for Chinese people. So if you're talking to Vietnamese people, it is a new year
It's
and a new
year.
moon.
And solar, but it's on the lunar
But that's
solar
only
calendar.
if you're talking to a Korean person. It's solar.
No, but literally, it's on the even in
yeah,
Vietnam.
but we don't care. We only care about the moon.
Yeah, but technically,
We meaning Vietnamese people.
Miss, pay attention to detail. Yeah. So, but it is definitely fun. It is, Vocal Soul was there again.
Oh yeah.
Love listening to their beatbox. We always do their stuff and everything. So I always, if you haven't been to the Lunar New Year Festival, Lunar Solar New Year Spring Festival.
See, just call it one thing and get it over with.
It's Tet. I try to call it Tet like you guys say it, but I can't. I don't have the vocal.
No, it's just that.
Yeah, it sounds like
It's not a t. It's a th.
it's spelled with a T though, but it's like
Yeah, but we don't
yeah,
have
no.
the English
I
t.
know. I don't have a Vietnamese tongue.
You can say tet. It's fine. I'm not offended. I don't get offended with these things.
So
Say whatever you want. Say Vietnamese if you want.
But yeah, I recommend going. It's
Mhm.
really fun. Although expect crowds. That's all I would say.
Yeah.
All right. Anything more on that?
No, I think there was Super Bowl Sunday and
Super Bowl
it was
Sunday?
pretty crowded. Even my theory was incorrect.
Yeah,
It was pretty crowded.
pretty crowded. It was pretty
So-
crowded. And then
Well, we weren't there, but we looked at the map, the wait times.
yeah, I think the North Colorado has a new enemy in Miss Swift. The Niners lost, and I was just like, ooh. Some people are not going to
And
be
you kept
happy.
saying that Taylor kept taking out the players.
She was
the
she was
Niners
casting
players.
spells from the booth.
They kept getting injured, dropping like flies.
Yeah, and then I'm just like, is the North Colorado going to stand for this? I don't want to say anything too loud. So, I don't know. They can comment.
Yeah.
This is going to be everybody thinks it's America versus China. No, it's the North Colorado versus Taylor Swift. That's the superpower struggle that we're going to be facing in 2024, 25. Yeah. It ain't Biden, Trump.
Well, the other exciting thing about the Super Bowl, besides Usher, was the Deadpool trailer.
Deadpool trailer. They showed the TVA.
And who's that guy? Paradox? So he's somebody in the comics? I didn't understand anything. I didn't watch the breakdown, so I
no,
forgot
he's
to.
not. I told you the TVA agent.
Yeah, somebody called him Paradox.
That's what he called himself.
In the trailer?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I missed that.
Yeah. Well, it could have been in the script or whatever, the words that you read.
Oh, the caption?
Caption, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But the TVA is. I'm glad they're using it, and it makes sense how to bring him in because at the end of Deadpool 2, he was
He had the time
he's
thing.
jumping up through time, destroying a lot of the Sony stuff,
Mhm.
even some of the DC stuff. He
Mhm.
basically killed himself, Ryan Reynolds, before he could be Green Lantern.
Yes.
So
That's funny.
So yeah, that was pretty cool, and they're gonna bring him in. I tell you, this is going to be the thing that. I mean, we're going to talk a little bit about Bob Iger and his stuff on MCU later, but I think this is going to be this. I don't want to say the savior because it's not like the MCU's
Well,
in trouble.
he did
but
say he was Marvel Jesus.
yeah, he thinks so. He said that in the trailer. But it should be fun.
Thanos, I am inevitable. And he's like, I am Marvel Genius.
Yeah. Yeah. Deadpool in the comics is pretty cool. I mean, he's just all over the place, and it's going to be it's going to be amazing, I think. So, but it's probably going to be the only Marvel movie coming out this year. So
Oh, yeah.
they are cutting back, and we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
All righty.
Well, let's talk about our second Disney trip. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We went March 2nd, which was only the second day of the Food and Wine Festival and our first day experiencing the Food and Wine Festival this year. So
It was kind of an impromptu trip because we just didn't want to wait till the 9th. It was open, and I was just like, let's go,
Yeah, because we had a wedding. Then we had our cousin's wedding. Your cousin,
Oh, yeah.
also
That's
my
what people
cousin.
saw. So the people who follow us on
Instagram.
Instagram and Facebook, they kind of know what we've been up to. But my little cousin. This is kind of this is the first wedding Tracy's been to on my side of the family.
Yeah.
Because all my cousins have been married years
Mm-hmm.
ago, but she's my little cousin, so she's
actually your niece if you were Asian.
she's my
Cousin's
oldest
daughter.
cousin's daughter.
Yeah.
And so she got married, and we went to her wedding out in Palm Springs. Well, whatever you call it.
Palm Desert.
They have these things.
Let's just say
Well,
Palm Springs. It's okay.
Palm Springs at the country club out there, and it was really nice.
Mhm.
You know, it was fun.
It's fun.
Got to catch up, you know, with a lot of the people on my side of the family because, unlike Tracy, I don't need to see them every week.
Well, what's cool
Um,
is your cousin, which is the bride's dad, is a huge Disney
Yeah.
World fan. Even
Mhm.
though I told him Disneyland's closer. You
Mhm.
know, he's trying to get us to go, and he's like, the next time he goes, we're gonna go with. We have to go with him, and he's like, don't worry, I'll tell you where to stay. Just stay where I stay. Like, because I was asking him about hotels, and so he's like, don't worry, I'll take care of all that. So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So
So that was fun, you know. My mom, she's almost 80 dancing. Mom and stepdad. My aunt came out from Idaho.
Idaho.
Yeah. I always get the I states mixed up because my niece is in Iowa and my aunt is in Idaho.
mhm.
Probably not much different.
One has potatoes and one has
Corn.
nothing.
Yeah. They're two carb states. But yeah, congratulations to Rachel and
Julian.
Julian. Yep.
Booch.
One thing I didn't know is that he had a twin brother. I didn't know that till the wedding.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah. It was pretty cool. All right. So that was fun. Then what?
Then we went to Disney the
Yeah.
weekend after.
Mm-hmm.
And Food and Wine Festival. So this year, what's different is the Food and Wine Festival had 2 different choices for tabs. You can get a thing with 8 tabs, or you could get the Sip and Savor Pass. Sorry,
Yeah.
8 tabs or 4.
Mm-hmm.
And for the 4 tabs,
No discount.
no Magic Key discount. I think it was, what did I say? I forgot what I said. It was $31 for the 4 tabs, or for the 8 tabs, $64 or $56 for Magic Key discount.
Mm.
So, of course, we got the 8 because we're coming back like 3 or 4 times before the festival ends.
Yeah.
Because it's going on till April 22nd, so
Yep.
it's a while. So there was that confusion because I think somebody had said that they had bought the 8, paid for the 8, but was given the other tab.
Mhm.
So when it scans through, because now it's like no more physical tabs, it
Mhm.
scans. They realized that she was given the 4 and she had to go exchange it and do all this stuff. Anyways, so
Disney IT.
multi-confusion.
Talk about that later too.
So what do we do? We had a chill day because we knew we were coming back tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we really didn't do much but eat a little bit. Well,
Mhm.
I ate a lot. And went on a few rides and just stayed over at DCA. We didn't make it to Disneyland.
Mm-mm. No. I mean, Disneyland's more of, I go there almost just for the rides. You know what
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
There's
like,
no place to sit and chill.
it's not chill. Disney
Oh, and
is-
it rained when we were there. But you'll
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about your rain gear later.
Mhm.
It rained and
Yeah, like I said, this episode's called Catching Up, so we're just
Yeah.
going to talk.
Yeah.
We're going to
well,
yak, yak,
I
yak.
heard a guy. So then the rain stopped, and it was
Mhm.
nice weather, not too hot, not too
Mhm.
cold. And then I was walking, and then I heard this guy talking on the phone or vlogging. I don't know. I think he was
Hilarious.
FaceTiming, or he's vlogging. I don't know. But he basically said really loud, "Top 10 worst day of my life." But while he was saying it, he was vlogging and holding a hot dog with French fries and 2 beers, a tray of hot dogs, French 2 beers at Disneyland, talking about top 10 worst day of his life.
And then Disney was just like rolling over in his grave.
Yeah, I turned around, I'm like, what are you
Crazy.
talking about? You're holding a hot dog and 2 beers. I didn't even mention the fries, the film strip fries he had. But whatever.
Tertia's like, check your privilege.
Yeah, I was like, dude, talk about privilege, dude.
No, I thought it was funny. I'm just going to use it as a tag. I'm just going to start saying it all the time. Top 10 worst day of my life.
Top 10 worst day of your life. No, not when you like injured. I guess you're really privileged if that's the top 10 worst day of your life. Like,
yeah, I thought. I mean, it's not. It's more funny.
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious. I was like, man. But then again, I did at the last episode we did in 2023. I said, "May the best of your days be the worst of 2024." So maybe he was listening. So if his best days are the worst, that might be one of the worst times he's had.
I don't know about that. That's backwards.
But yeah, it was cool. It was funny. And it rained and it stopped. And
It wasn't raining when he said that, but maybe it was worse because
we got soaked earlier. But
yeah,
you never know,
earlier he
man.
got soaked.
How do you know he just didn't find out like a loved one died right before that call? You never know. So
Well, I would put the hot dog and beer down and then call and sit in a corner and cry and tell the person you're vlogging to or whatever, or FaceTiming. I mean, he didn't, I'm imagining if that happened, I wouldn't be like, you know how you put your phone out like you're taking a selfie? That's how he had the phone positioned.
yeah,
So
I say don't judge. We don't know the guy. So
I'm just saying his life must be pretty cool if that was the worst day of his
never
life.
know, man. I've seen people in my social work get some horrible news, and they're just like, "I'm gonna keep on going." Maybe he's just that tough, positive, can-do type of guy.
I suppose. Oh, wait, I forgot to write that. The other exciting thing when we were just chilling, we saw Ben Affleck
Yep,
and Jennifer Garner. Well, there was like,
he had a concerned look on his face. Maybe it's the worst day of his life.
he always has that look. But he looks better than when he's with his wife. He
What do
looks
you mean?
more like, hey, like animated, talking, like explaining something. Usually with his wife, he's just like, like this FML, my life, this kind of look. But he
That's
looks normal.
That's how all guys look when they talk to women.
No, he doesn't
We have
even
to talk to our wives all the time. We can't.
He doesn't even talk with him. He just has this FML look. But anyways, so there were like, I don't know if like the high schools in LA have their grad night, but there were a lot of plaids with teenagers. So that's what I had noticed first. I was like, oh, a plaid. Oh, a bunch of teenagers with plaids. And then behind those teenagers was this tall guy with gray hair and beard. I'm like, is that Ben Affleck? Why does he look older? Like, he doesn't look like Batman. But that was him. Because in real life, you don't put on makeup and all that stuff, for a movie. So like, oh, yeah, that is Ben Affleck. And then I didn't see Jennifer Garner until they walked by in front of us.
Mhm.
So, because she was in like a poncho and a hat, he was just like in no hat or anything.
Yeah.
So they were walking by.
It was funny because he didn't have other than the plaid, he didn't have security with him. And then you had a week or two before, gone out with your friend who's an actually elected DA
Hmm.
who had more security than him.
Yeah.
The DA for Imperial Valley.
Yeah. And I text him like, hey, look, I saw Ben Affleck and you have more security than him. And he's like, no, they're there. You just don't see them.
I was like, no, we see everything at Disney. We saw your guy. Yeah, it's funny. But then again, I doubt Ben Affleck have to deal with the cartels. So
Yeah.
different jobs,
Yeah.
different risks. All right. What else?
So are you going to talk about your rain gear when it rains?
Yeah, we can do that. I kind of put up a little teaser of what I wear to the parks when it rains, at least when we know it's going to rain. So my rain gear is basically, well, first of all, I want to talk about the shoes. Let's start at the bottom. I got these. They're called Learn Mern,
Oh.
and I found these are new. So I used to, because I used to do gear reviews like when we first started the podcast, and I used to wear my Morels, which are actually hiking shoes. They're technically hiking boots, but they're not boots.
Yeah.
And I like them because they don't have laces
Mm-hmm.
and they're waterproof.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that was cool. But the one thing I noticed is that they would slip on there's only a few parts in Disney that have cobblestones,
Mm-hmm.
but the few parts that do, they would slip on because they're made for gripping. They're
Oh,
not
I
made to
see.
go on top of like smooth stone.
Ah.
So that's the only part that,
Yeah. I
But-
saw a lot of kids falling
yeah,
because it was wet,
yeah,
but not too wet where there's puddles.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I got these Learn Merns. You get them on Amazon. Man, these things were only like, how much did I pay? I forgot.
I think you said 49 or something.
Yeah, it's like $49, I believe. And man, I gotta tell you, these things are not only comfortable. First of all, they're made for service workers,
Mm-hmm.
but you could get them in different colors. I got them in just all black,
Mm-hmm.
and so they go with anything black. They look sporty. They have this thing on the heel that's
Like a
a
cushion.
suction cup,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
and because you remember when you walk on tile,
It goes
Eh,
squeak, 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 squeak.
no, but if you
Like
try
that?
to like just slide your foot, you
Yeah,
can't.
you can't.
No, you got to pick up your foot.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably for people who work in kitchens or work, any hospitals, any place with a tile floor,
Mm-hmm.
which is awesome because that's less falling.
Yep.
And the cushion is about. I wouldn't say they're as good as your New Balance cushions, but for a service
Yeah.
working shoe, it's for people who stand all day.
Yeah.
But the
'Cause
cool
I-
thing is most service worker shoes are ugly.
Yeah.
These things look cool
Yeah.
and they're waterproof.
And you got me a pair
Yeah, and I bought Tracy a pair.
because I don't like wet socks.
And she was always
Those
complaining about
rain.
wet socks. So these are, I mean, I don't know how much shoes people typically spend on shoes, but for shoes because yours were even cheaper. Yours were like $42.
Yeah, and my New Balance are like 120.
Yeah. Yeah, because she had to get, she went to Roadrunner Sports and they measured her. And so we just got her 3 pairs of those because they don't make that
Yeah.
thing anymore. So that particular model. But I'm recommending these shoes because,
For rain, if you
and you could wear them out anywhere else.
yeah,
It's
they're
not just for
comfortable.
Disney.
They're not like, because I have Morels I
Mhm.
bought for rain, and
Mhm.
they're waterproof, but they kind of hurt. They don't have
Yeah.
cushion,
They're not as cushiony, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you have flat feet, the Morels probably aren't good. And
Yeah.
let's let hiking shoes be hiking shoes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now, these shoes do have laces, which I like slip-on type of shoes, but you can wear them, and it even says in the description on Amazon
They're
that
slip on.
if you just tie them and you
yeah,
can
you
use
tie
them as
them on the
slip-on.
inside, and
Yeah.
then it's
Mhm.
a slip on.
And they're designed like that; they grip your
Yeah.
feet naturally.
Yeah.
So, man, for $40-something,
Mhm.
really good shoes. It did rain. It rained hard a couple of times, and no wet socks. So now the pants are Eddie Bauer from Costco, water resistant pants,
Mhm.
and when we bought them, you've bought me like 2 pairs of those.
Mhm.
I have a gray pair and a black pair. When we got them, and with inflation, they're probably more, but they were $15.
Mm,
And so Eddie Bauer, that's pretty cheap,
mhm.
No water. They could probably withstand rain with winds of up to like 50 miles an hour. I mean, almost hurricane type wind. If you jumped in a pool and somehow you could protect your ankles and waist, you wouldn't get wet. I don't think it'd be hard.
Yeah.
They're really good. They're really nice, and they're cheap. I mean, inexpensive. Not
Yeah.
cheap because they're actually well made. So
Yeah.
sometimes when you say cheap, you think, well, these things are, how long are they going to last? Well, I've had them for
Reasonably
years.
priced.
Yeah, reasonably priced. And you can still get them on Amazon, I believe. I think now they're like
Now they're
20
probably 20.
20 something.
Yeah.
But they look like
They're just
if they had
regular-
if they were like Lululemon, it'd be like 180 or whatever. But
Well, if it's water resistant, probably 200.
yeah, but these are really nice and they're super comfortable.
Yes. And then your jacket is from Disneyland.
Yeah, so that's a rain jacket. I don't even know if they make them anymore.
No, I haven't seen them in a while.
The first time, and we talked about this on the podcast, I was on a hunt for it because it's one of those things where you're like, oh, I'll get it next time. And then they went away for like a year.
Yeah.
And then they came back. And I think at the time when we got it, I think it was about 70. I couldn't remember the exact price, but I was looking at similar rain jackets they have now. They're like 70.
70, yeah. That sounds right.
Yeah. Now it has like a white mesh inside, so even if it's like it's not sticky like a regular rain jacket. So you wear it as a windbreaker or a jacket, a rain jacket. It's pretty good. The water resistance is really good. It has a hood if you want to wear it. Has Disney right across on the chest and small. You know, I like stuff that's understated. I don't like the big loud Disney stuff. I like, like the stuff that I'm gonna buy another one tomorrow if they still have them, like the Nike Dry Fit stuff. I just like a little Mickey here, like a little Mickey here, a little Disneyland here or there.
You're looking for the hat, right?
Yeah, well, the lightsaber hat
Yeah.
that they had that I saw, but I don't know, that might be sold out.
Yeah.
But I like all the Nike. That's why I like the Nike stuff. I like understated. I like Disney stuff that if you wanted to wear to the office, you could.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best way to describe my style. I don't like big colors and
Big giant Mickey.
I don't feel the need to show people at Disney that I'm a Disney fan. I'm obviously a Disney fan. I'm here. So, but that's just me though. I mean, I don't knock anyone else's style, but I'm just practical. I mean, when I went up to a work conference last year, I wore my Dry Fit white Mickey polo. It just had a little Mickey.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So, but I don't know if you can find these jackets anymore, but they do have some other cool selections. But always look out for these jackets. The only thing I would say about the jacket is that this is not hurricane rain resistant.
Yeah.
Because there was one time I did get wet.
We did,
but
yeah,
it
and
was
it went
crazy.
through, right?
It was like trees blowing over rain.
Yeah, we had no umbrella. We just like wore that jacket and then that's it.
Yeah.
You know.
But for your normal rainy day where it's just raining, drizzling, whatever, it's fine.
And then you can take cover a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. And you put the hood up. You're not going to get wet.
Yeah.
Especially if you wear a Dry Fit hat, which is I did. And those Nike Dry Fit hats, and that's what the last piece of the puzzle, they don't get wet. They're, by themselves, I mean, they're not supposed to be rain hats.
Yeah.
They're just baseball caps.
No, but so we usually, because the first time ever it rained and we were at Disney, we had our rain jackets. But we found out that if you just put the hood over you when it rains, you can't see because it's going to fall over your eyes. So we learned that you put a cap on and then you put the rain hoodie over the cap. That works because then the hoodie kind of blocks.
And it's not just
thing.
that. To me, it's like you don't always want to wear the hood because sometimes you still can't see. So when it's light drizzle, I just want the Dry Fit hat.
Yeah.
And it's
but to me, it's better to put on a cap to block the hood from falling in your eyes.
Yeah, it won't fall in your eyes. And for light drizzle, and that's the stuff that Doppler radar won't pick up because a lot of people are like, why is it raining? It said it wasn't going to rain at noon or whatever, but they can't pick up like the light drizzle. Now, light drizzle, like if you stand in it for 5 minutes, you're still going to be wet,
Yeah.
And Dry Fit hats, Nike Dry Fit, Disney hats are perfect for that. You just wear that. You can wear it without a hood. You'll be fine.
Yep.
So that's my rain gear review. That's what I wear. There's some other suggestions I might make at some other time, but it's a perfect kit. I mean, it's better. I like the jackets better than ponchos because it's more mobile. You can put your hands in the pocket if your hands are getting wet because they have pockets on the side of the jacket. Love it. And it works every time. That's set. All right. What are we talking about next?
I don't know if this was during the Super Bowl, but Marvel announced the cast of their new Fantastic Four. I know that's old news.
Yeah.
But it's the cast will be Pedro Pascal. That's Reed
Richards.
Okay. Vanessa Kirby, which is the lady from Mission Impossible.
the crazy eyes.
The crazy, you call
call
her
it crazy
the
eyes.
lady with. She has an interesting look. Like I like the way she looks. Just interesting.
And it depends which iteration of Sue Storm she's going to play because Sue Storm, when they started out, was just kind of like a housewife with powers. right? She just helped her husband. She was, I mean, she was cool. She was a
Like
superhero.
Mrs. Incredible.
Kinda, but you have to understand, it started in like the '60s.
Yeah.
So maybe even, yeah. So it was like even more. She had the whole '60s haircut. It was
Yeah.
weird. But then as time went on, she evolved. Her character evolved, and now she's more of like a fighter. So I think that's probably the iteration they're going to do, because that's why they chose this particular actress, because she's more like mean.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Know what I mean?
Yes. And then two other actors I don't know, Eben Moss Bachrach and Joseph Quinn. I know
think-
they're in something.
I think
But-
one was in like Session, I believe.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I don't know. I know their names too.
And then the other Marvel news was that Marvel is re-releasing they released the trailer for X-Men 97. And it's all going to be released on Disney Plus March 20th. Animated series, not all released at once, I
Yeah.
don't think, but I think I might want to watch that.
Yeah, I'm not excited about it, but then again, I didn't watch it when it was out originally,
Oh.
so I was never.
Well, someone told me that it was kind of like continuing on with that whatever
Yeah, with the animated series that was there.
in the 90s. Yeah.
Yeah, because at the end of it, Charles Xavier kind of died, went to Shi'ar, whatever. But I was never a fan of animated superheroes when I was a kid. Believe it or not, I was because I was a comic book reader.
Mm.
To me, even as a kid, like I would read the comic books, because comic books are always more, even though their comic books are for kids too, they're more like PG-13.
Mhm.
They're more like adult oriented. They talk about adult themes. The whole mutants versus humans thing was like explained in nuance, and because the X-Men were basically a take on the civil rights movement. That's what the whole thing was about.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to use black and white people, so they used mutants.
Mutants
Yeah.
and humans.
Yeah. So at a young age, I kind of got this like nuanced view of good and evil, and the complexities of how things are more of a shade of gray.
Mm-hmm.
And so you watch, then the normal kids who weren't nerds would watch like the animated stuff, and they'd just be like, "Oh, that's cool," Hulk just threw a car. I'm like, that's what you got out of this? You freaking plebe, that's me at 9 years old. It's like,
You're like all philosophical. No, civil rights and blah blah blah. They're like, oh, Hulk through a car.
well, everything. It wasn't even. That's just the X-Men. Like if you watched, the whole Batman like not killing thing. It was about restraint.
Yeah.
It wasn't about like everyone's like, why doesn't he just kill the Joker? And it's just like, no, it's about restraint. His parents were killed, and he's trying to overcome his trauma. And using guns to kill was like is the easy way to get things accomplished. And so his personal code is to like not take the easy way out, right? Or that's what makes you. It's not that like when they say, "Oh, killing a villain, you become just like the villains." That's not what he means. He means basically you become lazy. Basically, you're trying to find easy way out in life, and you'll never go back. So if you do kill something, that's what leads you down this dark path. Is that it's like, oh, that was easy.
Yeah.
What about the Penguin? What about Two-Face?
Yeah,
I could keep doing this, and then you become the Punisher.
Yeah.
That's what happens. So the Punisher can happen like in a snap, but he didn't take a long, insightful look at himself. He just went for it. But yeah, but even the Punisher was more philosophical. So kids who read comic books were discussing them, and they weren't just like, well, who could be who? Is a Hulk stronger than Superman? Oh, da, 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 da. I mean, we still had those things, but it's like we talked about. I don't want to say we were talking about deeper things, but the authors wanted us to talk about deeper things. And so when you saw the cartoon stuff that was especially watered down in like the 80s, 90s, because that's all they could do. It's television. It was just kind of like, yes, this stuff. It's not even as edgy as the cover of my comics, But I could see why a lot of people would watch it and have nostalgia for it, and I don't knock them for it. And I think, yeah, cool. It might be good. And they might have updated some things. I mean, Disney tends to do that.
Yep.
So.
Right. I guess we could talk real quick about one or two things that Bob Iger announced or said during the Morgan Stanley conference.
Mm-hmm.
The first is, of course, everyone probably already heard that he confirmed that there will be a Pandora experience or land at the Disneyland Resort. So we're not sure which park. That's all he said. And we're not sure when. That's just all he said. It could be in 2030. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they really love that franchise.
We've yet to see the movie, or I have yet to see
Yeah.
one or two. Wait, I think I saw one
I think
a long time ago.
I saw one. It's like I didn't need to repeat, see
Yeah.
it. It was, I mean, I don't want to put it down. It was a good movie. It's a good theme, At the time when the first one came out, the effects were spectacular.
Hmm.
It just wasn't really my
There's
thing.
not that much hype on it at Disneyland, or even period.
Yeah, it's
to
like
bring
no
it
one's
to
really
Disneyland.
asking for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised they're just not doing like a Frozen Land or something.
Yeah,
It's
that would
kind
be
of like-
more,
But I think they're kind of going in the direction of super immersive stuff. So they like Galaxy's Edge.
Oh,
So it's like, well, what else can we do that's like Galaxy's Edge that's that immersive and has that much of a, theming, right? Because if you did like a Frozen Land, it's basically you're just making like Norway.
Orangedale.
Yeah, you're making Norway 1800s. It's like it's not really. I'm not saying that wouldn't be good. I'm just saying they want something to where you actually feel alien, like you're in an alien's place. So
Well,
I could
was
see
cool
why they
with-
would do that, but
I was cool with Bugs Land.
Bugs Land. Yeah. I mean, I'm happy with Avengers Campus too.
Yeah. That's cool too.
I keep buying stuff from there, so it's like
Yeah. We're gonna tell you next time what
what I-
Brian bought
yeah.
himself.
Um,
Two things.
So what else from Morgan Stanley?
Oh, Bob Iger pushes back on Marvel fatigue, but says Disney did quietly cancel some movies.
Now you think that's a contradiction? I don't.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so if you're pushing back Marvel fatigue, then go forward with more Marvel.
No, because what he could be saying is we need more quality over quantity, which is what I've always been saying. Like they've came out since Endgame, they've come out with a lot of stuff, and most of it was either meh or it was pretty good, right? Nothing again is going to be another Endgame, and I don't think that expectation is fair. But they haven't even come close to like some of the phase 3 type of stuff.
Yeah.
Nobody's that excited. Like during phase 3, when the next Marvel movie was out, like you had to get your tickets. Like theaters would
Yeah.
sell out.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of like
Meh.
people don't. There's people who didn't even know the Marvels came out. Like today.
Oh, really? I
Like
didn't know.
they don't. So, and people could whether or not you think it's a good movie or not.
People are
it
going to
should
go
still
see.
be a big deal.
People too busy going to see Dune this weekend to notice the Marvels came out.
Dune, yeah.
Dune 2, I mean, or whatever.
So I think sometimes less is more.
Yeah, that's his this. That I think that's what you're saying, because here's a direct quote from him from the Morgan Stanley conferences. It's not an easy thing, but you got to make those tough calls. We've actually made those tough calls. We've not been public about it, but we've killed a few projects already, and we just didn't feel we're strong enough.
Right. And that makes sense, because I think what happens is, and I think it happens in any business, you have a hit product, and it's like, well, dude, I'm making lots of money on these things. Well, let's just sell more
Make
of these.
more, yeah.
And then more and more. And then people, and it's like, what happened? It's like, well, the reason people like the thing is not that they could just get a hold of it. It's because it tied to something. Again,
Mhm.
the connectivity, it meant something. It was leading somewhere. Just because you put Marvel on something doesn't mean I'm going to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would buy it, but it doesn't mean most people would buy it.
Yeah.
And especially people who are what you would call casual fans. And I know sometimes like nerds, geeks, they use that as an insult. But being casual, to me, it's like, I think we talked about it before. It's like being basic.
That's where you make the money too.
Being basic is a good thing.
Yeah.
I just did like focus reviews at You know, for my, you know, you have to do the annual reviews for
Yeah.
your people. You know, it's kind of hard to convince people that meets expectations is a good thing.
Yeah. Yep, that's what I had to
You did it. You did everything we expected of
Yes.
you. How is that like not a good thing? But everyone,
Wants
you know,
to be
wants to exceed
than
expectation
average.
or exceptional, and it's just like, yeah, that's super special stuff.
well, even the word
you know.
basic, right? You're people think it's a derogatory.
It's a derogatory.
like offensive
Yeah,
to call someone basic, but if you're average, I mean, yes, you're average. You're like the masses. What's wrong with that? You know?
I tell, like, when I was in MMA, the MMA industry, I didn't fight, but the fighters would always go after like these super hot like bottle service girls and all this, and
Bottle
because they were
service girls.
popular at the time, you know,
Right.
the fighters, when you're fighting, you're like,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, the spotlight's on you, you're beating up other dudes, and it's like, you know, you get these
The ring
super hot.
girls, the girls who hold
Some
up
of them
the
were
sign.
ring girls, but I'm
Yeah.
talking about at the clubs. Like
Oh,
they would,
oh,
you
oh,
know,
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
a fighter comes in, especially if you fought in the UFC. It was just like, and I was just like, man, you want a basic girl, and then when I mean basic, doesn't mean ugly. What I'm saying is a cute girl,
Normal.
a cute girl who you're attracted to, but you know it's she if she took away her looks, she'd still have stuff
Yeah.
to offer, you know, because all looks are going away.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, someone who's not wild and crazy and is gonna beat you up
Mhm.
and you know call the cops for no reason kind of person. No, you want basic.
The 9 to
That's basic.
5 working office girl.
Yeah, man. That's why they didn't get it. They want the wild girl, you know, the girl who's like, you know, like bipolar. You know what I mean? It's like the drama.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
want
yeah.
the drama, and it's like in your 20s, I guess drama feels good. It's like, you know, Tower of Terror every day. But I was never like that. I'm just like, no, man. You know, give me security, man. That's why I worked for the government for a long time. I was like, I want to be able to plan my future. I want to know what my future is going to look like, and I kind of want it as close to guaranteed as possible.
You just want stability. And that's,
Stability and happy, but happy stability. You know,
Mhm.
happy stability. And being a casual of Marvel is not a bad thing.
yeah.
And I think what happens is that they want to get into sometimes they want to get too deep cutty and do a lot of fan service, and it's like kind of like Ahsoka.
Mhm.
Like, I loved Ahsoka,
Mhm.
but again, most people don't even know that Anakin had a freaking Padawan. And now she has a show. So they're like, why is everyone excited about Ahsoka? It's like, you know. So Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, you know, Black Panther. I know whatever you're gonna do with the character or Wakanda, you know, there are some things. You know, I think Shang-Chi is gonna be one of them. Ant-Man
Mhm.
is gonna be one of them. They just got to do better.
Mhm.
There are things that people know,
Mhm.
the basic casual people
Mhm.
know, and make them want to come back.
Yeah.
The hardcores are gonna come anyway.
Yeah.
Even if it's the crap on your stuff.
Yeah.
we're gonna come
they'll be
anyway.
there, so
We're gonna be
who
there.
cares?
You
Yeah.
already got our money.
You don't need to. I mean, doing a little Easter egg deep cut things here and there is cool,
Yeah.
but you don't need to do it all the time. And
you don't need to make a whole franchise about something. Now, it worked with Guardians, right?
Mhm.
So nobody knew who Guardians of the Galaxy
Mhm.
were. But it was such a quality product.
Yeah,
It worked. So,
that's
Yeah.
the formula they need to
Yeah.
do to use.
and if you're going to bring somebody new, you better make sure it's quality,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Well, you should try to make sure anything's quality, right? But
I wonder if they're
Um,
gonna cancel that War Machine movie or show.
Armor Wars.
Armor
yeah.
Wars.
Well, no, they said it was a show, and then they said it was going to be a movie, and I bet now that's canceled.
I wonder if this is one of the projects Iger said he scrapped or
They
whatever.
haven't talked about it. They haven't talked about it. You know,
Yeah, especially if
Blade
Cheadle
was coming, then it was canceled, then it was coming. Now who knows? You
I
know,
think Blade is still.
you never know, man. You never know, because one of the things too is they might not have canceled everything because they weren't that strong. I think the writers and actors strikes pushed things back to where scheduling is just a mess.
Yeah.
you
They already Stephen Yeun already confirmed that he won't be
Sentry.
Sentry.
Mhm.
They said that he was, but then because of the strike, it pushed everything back, so it conflicts with another project. So
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, I hope I get another opportunity to do something else." But for now, he can't be Sentry.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that quality over quantity should be a must. And again, even with the staples, like Thor: Love and Thunder, not the best.
Nope.
You know, again, hardcore guys like me, we're gonna go see it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's 100 million other people out there who may not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then there's another 100 million people who just aren't into Marvel that you want to get into Marvel, so you better make quality stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
All right.
All right. So let's see what else. I guess that's it. And there was some stuff, but it's kind of old news. But let's go to Taste Talk. So we have two
Okay.
Taste Talks.
It's Taste Talk with Tracy. Mash some magic in your mouth.
So I'm going to quickly go through the Lunar New Year Taste Talk stuff since it's not here anymore, and I had it. I posted it, so might as well talk about it real quick.
Mm-hmm.
The Tsingtao beer with frozen mango beer foam was really good. It's basically Tsingtao beer, but the mango beer foam on top is like a slushy beer
Yeah.
on top of it.
I
Made
thought
it
it wa-
good.
I mean, I guess it's kind of
It's
like you don't know what to expect, but
Yeah.
it's a cool thing. But I don't know how much it cost.
Oh, it was like $18.
Yeah.
I know, but it's cool. Like,
It's
where can you
cool.
get slushy beer? Like, it's like the
in
churro
your
float.
freezer. That's where you can get
No, because
slushy
it'll go.
beer.
Psh.
No,
You need
I've had
an
slushy beer
icy
before.
machine to do it.
Maybe.
So it's like the frozen churro beer that we had during the
Yeah, but at least
Christmas-
that had a different taste to it. This
Like a
was
churro.
beer.
No, the frozen mango beer tasted like frozen
Yeah,
mango beer.
I guess so. But I mean, I guess I don't know. I fancy beers, they better have a higher
I
alcohol
know.
content for
I
me
have
to
a
pay
funny
more
story
money.
about that that
Yeah.
I'll tell you later.
Mhm.
But okay, and then barbecue pork bun with kimchi mayo. That was good.
Yeah.
Gochugaru shrimp roll.
Mm-hmm.
Now everybody liked this, and I had high hopes, but I didn't like it because it's cold. It's supposed to be like a lobster roll because it's cold like that, like
Mm-hmm.
you know, like a crab sandwich or a tuna sandwich.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be cold, so I didn't expect it to be cold, but because gochugaru is Korean chili powder, so it's spicy cold
Mm. Yeah.
shrimp. So I was like, meh. And then it had mayo, gochujang mayo, and
Sometimes you have to prepare your brain for what something
Yeah.
is going to be. So
so that was okay. Bulgogi pizza was. You didn't like it. I thought it wasn't bad. I know
it was
sweet pizza.
It's-
'Cause too sweet. The bulgogi meat was too sweet. It was like
and bulgogi is sweet,
yeah,
but
not
it's
that
like
sweet.
but it's like if I'm going to Korean barbecue or whatever
Yeah.
and I eat the
You
meat,
dip
it's
it
good.
in the salt.
Yeah,
and-
no, but I mean, I know what to expect. Again, it's like if you trick my brain into thinking that something's pizza and then you put like brown sugar on top of it, it's like, all right, what is this? You know? So,
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, and then those are the final stuff we had at the Food and Wine Festival. And then no, not Food and Wine, at the Lunar New Year Festival.
Yeah.
So Food and Wine, let's talk about that.
Yep.
So
do I have to
California
hit this again?
No.
Okay.
California craft brews. This is what you have to talk about because only you had it. The cheeseburger bao with Thousand Island dressing, grilled onions, pickles, and tomato relish. Now, these are the ones that I think just because you put American ingredients inside of an Asian vessel doesn't mean it's fusion. But whatever. If you all like it, it's fine.
What else would fusion be? I guess when you
Something
say
more
that,
creative. Like a pandan
fusion doesn't
chili
denote level of
gochujang
creativity.
pasta, something like
well,
that.
it is creative. I mean, it's creative as anything else. It's fusion. It's like
Yeah, but how did it taste?
it was good.
Did it taste like a cheeseburger in a bao bun?
Well, what else would it taste like?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, is it the best thing I've had? No, but I mean, I would give it a 6.5.
Yeah, people were saying this is one of their favorite things at
Yeah.
the food
And
wine
it's
fest.
filling. So if you're going
Yeah,
there
you
and
use
you
a
get one,
tab. Yeah.
and you get if a tab fills you up, I think it's worth the tab.
Okay.
Might even give it a 7.
And at the same booth, I tried another frozen beer, frozen mango nata beer slush. So it's by Brewery X, mango puree, rock melon syrup, grapefruit juice, and mango chamoy glaze.
Mm.
It's basically a mango nata
Yeah.
with some beer in it. You can't taste the alcohol because it's beer, not hard liquor.
Yeah, I know you always buy these things half for content,
Mm-hmm.
just to tell people about. I just don't recommend, and this is a rope dropping knowledge recommendation. Like, don't go for the alcoholic drinks if you want to drink.
Oh, yeah.
You
mean, I was driving,
It's
so
a,
I
it's a
just,
novelty thing.
yeah.
So, but I think that there's people who go there and say, "Hey, I want to drink," and then they try that, and it's like, it's basic. Most of the Disney, well, especially the food festival drinks,
The premix.
they're just
yeah.
smoothies. They're just some iteration
Even the
of a smoothie.
cocktails are
Yeah.
they're too sweet, and you can't
Yeah,
really.
there's no. They charge. They'll put a drop of alcohol in something and charge you like another $8.
Mhm.
You know, because if it was like non-alcohol, it would probably it'd be like $8
And
cheaper.
then you find out that you can get this at Schmoozies anytime.
Right.
Because Schmoozies will put whatever shot you want in whatever smoothie.
Yeah.
So just get the frozen mango
Mm-hmm.
smoothie and put a shot of vodka or rum or tequila
Yeah.
or whatever.
It's for it's for
The gram.
it's for favorables. It's like I went to Disney and I took a picture of me doing this. It's kind of like that Black Tap thing. You know,
Oh yeah. We've never been there.
My milkshake had a cake on the end of it. It's like, okay, that's
Hey,
cool.
this was good content because I was trying to drink it while it was raining. I was
Yeah.
drinking a frozen drink in the rain.
That was funny.
Yeah.
I took a picture of you doing. I took a video of you.
Yeah. And then at Garlic Kiss, one of our favorites and a popular one is the grilled top sirloin with on top of the roasted garlic
Mm-hmm.
Gruyere smashed
that's good.
potatoes.
That's very good.
Yeah, that's really good. And
That
then
I
the
always give like a 9.
9. I would say 9. And then our new favorite one is the tacos gobernator. It's basically tacos, a shrimp taco.
Yeah.
But it's made the tortillas crispy like the birria
Birria.
tacos. Hmm.
Real good.
Yeah,
That's probably another 8.
8.
Yeah.
So and then that one takes a tab. You get 1 taco. If you get the full plate, you get 2 tacos, beans, and rice.
Cool.
So that is Taste Talk.
Alrighty.
Okay, so this just came up today, and I saw it right before we recorded, where for a limited time, Magic Key holders who book and participate in the Disneyland VIP tours between March 11th and May 23rd, Monday through Thursday only, will receive a $250 food and beverage credit at the Magic Key Terrace. Oh, for use of the day of the
Yeah.
tour only. So you better spend all the $250.
So you better be in a group because
yes,
if you're one of those people who are going to get the VIP tour by themselves, which is expensive,
and then you don't need the $250 if you
That-
can afford to pay
there's nothing
$6,000 for yourself.
because the whole unless it was a gift, I guess. But I mean, there's really nothing at Magic Key Terrace that you're going to spend $250 on,
Yeah, and usually when you do the VIP tour,
even if you
you're-
got all drinks. It's like it's
I know,
not-
right? You better be with a group.
Yeah.
And then also like the VIP tour, I'm just gonna say it's 6,000. Maybe it's 8 now because of inflation, but no matter what. So if you get a group of 9 together, that's the maximum. Then
Mhm.
you can split it up.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just pay the 6,000.
And then you get
8.
drinks for the 9 people at the Terrace, and that'd probably be $250.
Yeah.
you know.
But yeah, that's something. I don't know. I don't know if it's a Magic Key perk, but I guess it is. Yeah. So Moana 2 is coming to theaters
Mm-hmm.
on November 27th of this year. That's fast.
Well, it's a sequel, and yeah, it's she's popular. It's a popular movie, and it's like it's kind of last test. You know, it's not like some of the movies that came out where no one talks about it anymore. Like it was all right, but no one talks about it.
Yeah, everybody talks about.
Everyone still talks
what's
about
his
Moana.
name, but how come he's not at the parks? What's his name? The
Who?
Rock guy?
The Rock.
Wasn't The Rock that?
Oh,
big-
Maui.
Maui.
Oh.
Why am I forgetting? I'm turning into my mom. I'm forgetting character names.
Drinking too much of that slush beer.
Yeah, he's never at the parks, huh, Maui?
Because he's hard to do. It's like the Hulk.
Oh,
You know, you could get a
there
really
was a
big
guy that used to do that, but he was scamming people, and everybody just blocked him.
Yeah.
He was big, and
Mm-hmm.
he drew all the stuff for the tattoo, or he wear those shirts that have
Yeah.
fake tattoos on it, and he did birthday parties, and he was at the parks all the time taking pictures with people, like a famous content creator or something.
Mm.
And then he ended up like scamming a lot of people where he wouldn't show up to the birthday parties, but already collected the deposit. So
Yeah.
then he got blocked by everybody.
Well, that's one reason. Like a lot of people don't understand why Disney doesn't allow adults to wear like full costumes and stuff.
Mhm.
A lot of people think it's a security thing. It's like no, because they don't want you to think that that's an
The
official Disney
worker.
character.
Yeah, the cast member.
Because if
yeah.
you do something that's not Disney appropriate, then you're going to blame Disney. It's like
Yeah.
one of your characters did this or
Yeah,
did this.
that
And
wasn't us.
and they're like, no, it's not us. So, yeah, they don't want any brand confusion.
Yeah. Yeah. So another thing was there was ride testings going on at Disney World for Tiana's Bayou. So
You're
it's
welcome.
almost opening.
No. Try to bring it full circle. But yes, I think they said that they might be opening earlier than expected.
Oh,
So,
wow.
We'll see.
No word for Disneyland yet.
Yeah.
And then Star Tours will offer adventures with Ahsoka Tano, Cassian Andor, Din Djarin, and Grogu starting April 5th.
So that's going to be
Ooh.
cool. And that's every time they add new stuff to Star Tours, you see this ride that's like 10 minutes to get on. Now it's like an hour.
Right.
It's
the
funny.
lightning lane's going to be
All of a
later
sudden,
and all this
uh,
stuff.
I can just picture Star Tours talking. Oh, now you want me.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
you want me.
Now you want For like 2 weeks, and then it dies down.
yeah,
again.
that dies down again. Yeah.
So you wanted me to talk about my day at Paramount Studios meeting Disney
yeah.
corporate cast members,
Yeah.
Disney legal operations people.
Because you told them to listen to our podcast.
No, I didn't tell them. My boss said, "Oh, she has a podcast of Disney." So this is what happened. So we had it all. So okay, let me go back. There's this group called Legal Operations Clock. I don't forgot what it stands for. Consortium of Corporate Legal Operations Consortium. Basically, legal people. You called it
Aren't
the
you
legal.
the head of legal ops for your company?
Yeah, but I don't know what this organization is called.
You're a member.
Let's just call it the legal Illuminati. That's what you call it, right?
Yeah,
The
pretty
legal
much.
Illuminati. Anyways, they're not attorneys. We're not paralegals.
Well, there's
We do
attorneys
legal
there.
ops. No, there aren't any because all they did was
You-
bash attorneys.
But there was attorneys at the thing. You told me.
No, there was. I was the only one. And I felt awkward.
Oh.
But they kept bashing. I'm like, should I say something?
Whatever.
Or should I just keep quiet? But anyways, so we had a meeting and we each host at our company each time. This time it was Paramount Studios hosting. So we drove to LA, meaning me and my boss, drove to LA, went to Paramount Studios to meet everyone. So there was corporate legal ops people, of course Paramount was they hosted. And then Disney, there was Netflix, Credit Karma, Toyota. So Disney was there. Disney sent like 5 people. There was like 4 legal ops people and 1 IT person. But he was IT for legal ops. Anyways, we all introduced
She tries
ourselves.
to make that distinction.
Yeah. He's nice.
I
But
didn't say
anyways-
really nice.
Anyways, so we
I'm
all
just
introduced
saying-
ourselves and we were supposed to say, tell, because this is all Southern California people. So it's like, introduce yourself, where you're from, and tell us about a hidden gem beaten path in SoCal for the one person there that's from NorCal, I think, the guy who was hosting the whole thing. Or not hosting, but he was there to make some presentation. So we all went, and I'm like, well, when it's my turn, I'm like, well, I don't really go anywhere but Disney. So I'll share a beaten path at Disney. So I talked about Sonoma Terrace, and you get the 9.4 beer, and it's bang for your buck.
Which they didn't know about.
Which they didn't know about because Disney corporate people are in Burbank. They're not at the studio, so it's at the same campus, but the studio is a totally different side from where the corporate people sit, so it's not as cool for them. It's like, oh, we're not in the studio area where it's cool. And then they live in LA, and that's a whole different
You're
world.
lucky they didn't send you to Florida.
Yeah, exactly. So they live there in LA, and LA and Orange County is two whole different worlds. Everybody thinks everything in Southern California is all one thing, but it's not. San Diego's totally different.
Yeah.
LA's different. Orange County's different. So when they're in LA, they never make it to Disneyland. For at least these 4 or 5 people that I met. So so then I told him about that. So the one guy was like, "Oh, I'm from Disney and I'm IT for legal ops," and everyone was like, "Oh, wow, an IT person! This is so cool that they sent IT here. You know, that they have their separate own IT person." And then when I was introducing myself,
Wasn't he like the head of like IT? Or, I
he
forgot.
was no, he was like a director.
Okay, he's
Yeah.
a director.
Because they were all directors of legal ops. And when I was introducing myself, talking about Disney and stuff, my boss was like, "Well, tell him you have a podcast." And I was like, no.
So she's blaming it on her poor boss. Her poor.
Did you bring stickers? I'm like, no. Be quiet about the podcast.
And which,
But-
to me was like, what's the one group at Disney that we bash the most?
IT.
It's IT.
And then
So
they're
Tracy's like, well, listen to our podcast.
he's all, and then he's like, "Oh, it's a legit podcast," and I'm like, "No, I don't know about legit, but yes, my husband and I talk on the microphone, and we happen to release it online. I don't know if you want to call that a podcast." And then they were all like, "Oh wow, no, we gotta get it. We gotta listen. We gotta know about the parks and stuff because we never go." And I'm like, "Oh, please don't listen." And then later on, when we were getting lunch, it was more like, okay, because we do bash about Disney IT. Because I'm like, "Oh crap, this guy's from IT." And then I text Brian. I'm like, "Okay, so I met some Disney IT people, and they said they're gonna listen, but then I realized that we bash IT a lot." So then at lunchtime, I talked to the guy, and he already forgot the name of our podcast.
Good.
What's the name of your podcast? And then I told him it was Rope Dropping.
I would say,
And he's like, "What does rope dropping mean?"
Learning the magic. Or DMSW. That's what you
I'll
say.
be like,
That's
I
the
should have been
correct
like
answer.
the DMSW podcast. Talk about bashing Disney. Just kidding.
Tracy, I gotta train you. This is an HR trick. When somebody asks who you are, you give your rival. Not that they're rivals, they're friends, but
You know what?
we
I
don't have
should
any
have said
rivals.
learning the magic because those are more tips and tricks.
Yeah.
Us is more like news and business, which they probably, as corporate
Hannah
people,
and-
already
This is
hear
like,
about.
That doesn't sound like a husband. Like,
Yeah, Hannah and Elisa.
Brian has a high voice.
Anyways, so then I talked to him, and I just want to make sure he's not one of the people we bash just in case he listens. Like, he didn't even know what rope dropping meant. So I'm like, okay, I think I'm good.
That's hilarious.
So and then he's like, I'm like, wait, so what kind of IT do you do? And his name's Matt. And he's like, I'm like, you don't do the IT, like customer facing IT, right? He's like, oh, no. I'm in corporate. I don't even do anything. Like, I just help the legal people solely. And I was like, oh, good. I didn't say that, but I meant, oh, good. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I was trying to make a conversation, like, but I was like, okay, we're safe. But anyways, yeah, and then we got a little Paramount tour, and I posted some pictures of, the costume. We got to go to the archive room where they had all the costumes and all the films, like rows and rows of like old school film.
Yeah.
Like I took a picture of the Raiders of the Lost Ark one.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, are you guys going to digitize all this? Like, oh, we already did. These are just extra footage that we don't know what to, like, we feel bad throwing them away because once we did for The Godfather, we threw some. And then we did a documentary and we're like, oh, man, we should have kept those, like, extra footage. It'll be cool. So now they're scared to throw anything away. But
Wait, there's literal extra footage they didn't digitize? They threw away?
yeah, it's like bloopers or whatever, like,
Of The Godfather? They threw
Yeah.
it away?
yeah.
That's like your mom throwing away like your Kobe rookie
Yeah, but
card.
it's so much. One of those real things is like only 10 minutes, and The Godfather is like a 3-hour movie, and there's 3 of them. There were like
That's what your
two
mom would
giant-
say.
Yeah,
You-
100 shelves.
Look at
of-
all these comic books. What are you throwing away? Mom, you just threw away Spider-Man #1.
But they weren't the footage that was used. They were just
I know,
extra.
but still.
That's why he's saying
Some of the most expensive cards, it's like are what they used to call error cards because they're the rare ones, the ones that there was a mistake made.
Yeah.
Like dollar bills.
Yeah.
Like when the ones there's a mistake. Those are the ones that are selling for like, $100,000
Right,
or whatever.
right.
And your mom's like, well, this one didn't even spell Shaq's name right. I'm going to throw it away.
That's what they did with The Godfather. There's still, even despite throwing all those away, there's still so much. And so it's like, man, how are you? Yeah, after you digitize them, will you throw them away? It's like, oh no, we don't anymore
boy.
because we accidentally did that with The Godfather 1, and we don't do that anymore.
Who's the super Karen that made that decision?
That's the thing. It was like this guy. It's just him and that whole archive room, and yeah. So it's like maybe the people at the top.
And the thing about it is, and this is like, to me, this is a big example of corporate waste. I'm making fun of them, of course, but I mean, they could have sold those things for charity. They were avid, like,
Yeah, but who has a projector to watch?
there are Godfather fanatics.
Oh yeah.
There are Godfather fanatics that like they're boomers now, but they're like bigger than Marvel and Lego fanatics.
Yeah, there was a girl there who's probably a millennial, a
Mm-hmm.
lot younger than me. She was a Godfather. She is a Godfather fanatic, and she was just taking pictures and pictures.
No, but there's people who
But-
have like houses, like, and they're millionaires, and they have like entire sections to like certain franchises.
Yeah, like Star Wars fanatics.
Yeah.
There's Godfather fanatics.
Exactly.
So
Yeah. They could
Yeah.
and they could have just said, you know what, this is Godfather bloopers. They could have made like $1 million for chalk or something. Seriously. I mean, I'm not even
but
joking.
there's just so many.
But that's good. You do it every year.
Like they don't. Like the ones that they did keep are the ones that in that documentary where Marlon Brando put the cotton in his mouth
Mm-hmm.
and talked
Yeah.
during the screening or the what do you call that when you
The rehearsal.
not rehearsal when you try out for something, tryouts, I don't know,
Oh, screen test? No,
Yeah.
the audition.
audition. Yeah, during the audition. So they had that, but stuff like that is what they
Yeah.
other stuff like that is what they
Mm-hmm.
threw away, and they're
But
like,
I mean,
oh, we could
people,
have used that.
but people buy like film, like pieces of the film.
Mhm.
Like if there's stores and like you could go on eBay and there's like pieces of the original films that are just cut out. It's not even, you can't even play it. It's a slice of the film
Mhm.
and like of like the original Star Wars. That's like $700. You know what I mean? It's just a piece of
Yeah.
the film strip. It's probably not like
And
the
it
backup
is-
to the backup
yeah,
film
well,
strip.
you will
you
have
know?
it again because the newer films, I can see that the newer films, it's much thinner, the little file,
Yeah.
because it's mostly digital and
Yeah.
I don't know what is in it. It's not like a reel,
Yeah.
like an old school reel, kind of like records.
Mm.
But that was fun. It was fun to go on the tour.
Yeah, that's cool. All right. Well, we will be at the parks tomorrow. We are staying on property, so we do have that giveaway. So if you see us at the hotel, this is going to be actually our first time officially staying at Pixar. Was it Pixar Palace?
Pixar Place Hotel.
Pixar Place. Palace Place. You should call it Palace.
Yeah, that's right. It's our first time when it's official.
Official. Right.
So we'll see what the new rooms look like. And
New rooms.
Update
If
you.
they got the elevator and the parking structure set up yet. So the next time we talk, we will give you all the deets. But until then, I'm Brian.
I'm Tracy.
Stay magical.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe and visit us at www.ropedroppingknowledge.com.